Alright, so in this video I'm going to be going over how the departments of the Sidarian and Venerian grade work. To recap quickly on what Sidarian and Venerian grade is Sidarian grade covers ranks H1 to H3, and Venerian grade covers HC1 to LDR. So the Departments of S&V document covers briefly how the Sidarian and Venerian grade will function and coexist with one another in terms of the tasks and objectives that they're supposed to complete for the group. And it is organized in three different departments. You have the internal affairs, external affairs, and community relations. And I'm going to be going over each one. So in the introduction section, you have what was basically listed just now, is the document that covers these three different areas that the S&V grade will go over in terms of tasks and such, while still abiding the S&V laws and common laws of TheCelvestian, which is found in the Universal Decree document, which is also found in the information directory in the group description. So moving on, you have section 3, which covers the layout on how this Sidarian and Venerian grade will work, and it goes more in depth on each of the departments and how they will work. So you have community relations, which is like the developer relations team for Roblox. It covers feedback between the community directly towards the S&V grade. It manages that connection and that link between the two, and such as suggestions, voting, and like I said, community feedback, and so on. Then you have internal affairs, which covers everything involving the structure of the group, a lot of the reforms, infrastructure, applications, everything that has to do with keeping the group intact and together so that every other department can work with it. Then you have the external affairs, which is the department that deals with all of the foreign policy based stuff, such as alliances, negotiations, conflict, joint events, and so on. We have these three departments separated to keep all the tasks organized, and we give out these tasks to our S&V grade members via Discord, PM/DM, and we have them complete them within the day's notice that they're due, and it's been working for us so far. So jumping right into what the internal affairs is about, we have the internal affairs section, which actually lists some of the main jobs associated with it, such as decree management, which helps with adding more laws to the universal decree so that no loopholes may be created. Reform assistance, which is associated to, actually it's pretty self-explanatory. And then application processes. This is more so helping the Venerius with releasing applications, helping with feedback on how it could be edited and such. Infrastructure assistance, anything structure-based projects that I would need help with. Universal decree policing. It's more so assisting the community relations than it is actual like structuring, because as long as you're enforcing the rules, you should be fine. Discord organization and granting division power. So all of the descriptions of each of these jobs are listed here very briefly. So internal affairs deals with everything that has to do with group structure. Keep that in mind. Then you have external affairs, which was said earlier, dealt with foreign policy and everything that's outside of Celestian soil. It also deals with a few things in regards to the group itself, such as assisting with community relations, with relaying the community's feedback and suggestions/information to the other departments. So it's not only just a link between our allies and our enemies to us, there's also an assisting link between the community and S&V grade. And all of the jobs are listed here as well. Very briefly, alliance maintenance, negotiations, department relations, war records management, target finding, and managing hybrid members. Then you have community relations. Now this one might just be a little bit confusing, but we try to make that as clear as possible. Community relations was stemmed from the idea of developer relations, which works directly with the community, announcing all of the latest updates made towards the group, everything that has to do with keeping the link between community and the group intact so that there is a healthy, mutual beneficial relationship between the two entities. It has a critical role in the entire structure because since community has been a major part of the group, this department's tasks are one of the most important in maintaining throughout the S&V grades. So when you look over the main tasks and jobs, you have community feedback/suggestions, community announcements, weekly monthly newsletter, polls and voting, Discord Guardian, and donation request. And of course, all of the descriptions are listed here, just like in the other two departments. And little notes are listed under each department as well to read over. And then working in multiple departments. So to be perfectly clear, which is also listed in section 5, I'll state this right now, the departments do not actually exist in terms of separating people into these different departments. It's more so assigning tasks that are labeled under these departments. So I were to give someone the task of managing the universal decree, they'd have a job that's associated with the internal affairs. However, there is no actual internal affairs department, because when you have department entities such as this, it could create a lot of conflicts between the multiple departments and issues that could just be resolved by just creating tasks that are categorized under said departments instead of creating actual departments to categorize those tasks, if that makes sense. And I'll go over how that works between these two sections here. So working in multiple departments, what that means is essentially there will be tasks that can be given which are associated with multiple departments, like a task that can be split between external and internal affairs, and a task that can be separated between external and internal affairs. Members of the S&V grade that can manage multiple tasks at once from different departments. That's what it's talking about. And for this as well, we will have the S&V grade members also fill out specific applications from time to time to see what important tasks they could do that is relevant to that time period. And we also have a system where if you are on leave or inactive, then your task will be taken over by someone that is equally or as close to eligible as to how you were when managing that task. So there will be a necessity to bundling up tasks. However, it's not something that should be exercised too much, as we need everybody to be doing their own task so that we finish accordingly and nothing's rushed. And then section 5, this is where all of the nitty-gritty comes down to and how a lot of people get confused. So the first sentence, I'll quote, "To make things perfectly clear, departments will not actually exist. It's the tasks associated to each of those departments that will be handed out to the Venerian and Sidarian grade members. The reason the departments exist is to organize major tasks that require the attention of multiple people on deck to address it." So what it's saying is the departments don't actually exist. It's the tasks that exist. It's the tasks that we're giving out, or we're labeling them under those departments to organize them. It helps keep track of what's part of what, and also keeps track of which Sidarian and Venerian grade member is focused on what task, which is also focused on what part of the group. So let's say one Sidarian grade member is focused on target finding. So that would fall under the foreign external affairs department, and it wouldn't be associated with any other task. Then you would have a Venerian grade member who's focused on universal decree management, so that would fall under internal affairs department. However, the departments don't actually exist because, like I said earlier, conflict and bickering could be associated between the departments, and it's a lot easier to just manage tasks than it is to manage actual entities. And to continue, the purpose of this department organization is to give you something you can work with to help better the community and the group overall. So that's one of the reasons why we have this sort of setup. And from over the years, we've tested a lot of different structures, and this one so far has been working out the best for us. It was recently put into place around a few months ago, and it's been working ever since. You also have where if a Sidarian and Venerian grade member is struggling in a specific field, such as hosting, then it's optional for them to strengthen their weakness. It's not recommended. However, if you want to advance your career, then it would be best to apply these resolutions to that instance. So it could also help in real world applications as well. And it's also stated down here. This is optional for these higher grade members as they're not required by law to strengthen their weaknesses. However, it is highly recommended if you wish to further advance your career in not only Celestia, but also in real world applications as well. You never know. So basically what it's saying is we're here to help you with the flaws that you struggle with. Let it be confidence, social anxiety, teamwork, cooperating with other people in a team-based environment, and so on. A lot of things could be applied to the real world that you could learn from just working towards your weaknesses that are found in the group. you'll never know what you'll stumble upon. And that briefly goes over how the document works, and I'll recap very quickly what each section is stating. So section 1, brief introduction to what's about. Section 3, it talks about how the layout is structured and a very short description of each department. Then you have the actual sections or subsections that cover. Then you have the actual subsections that cover the departments themselves: internal affairs, external affairs, and community relations. And under each subsection, there is tasks and main jobs listed as examples. Not all of them are listed, as it says right here in each subsection. And then a little note at the bottom to also cover a few more things associated with each department. And then you have section 4, which is talking about how people would work with multiple tasks from multiple departments, or how people would work with multiple people that are working on different tasks from different departments. And then you have section 5, which basically tells you departments don't actually exist, it's just tasks associated with them. And these tasks are given to these Sidarian Venerian grade members. And then that's what section 5 goes over, and it also covers how this organization helps us as a group and as a community. And it also covers how we could help you in terms of your weaknesses and developing them into strengths. And then section 6 just recaps on just a few things, and it bids you farewell in terms of if you have any suggestions, questions, or etc., you can direct them to me personally or a Sidarian Venerian grade member. So yeah, that is about it for the Departments of SNV document. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. And remember to stay true to your heart of gold.